over the past 2 decades, roughly 5,000 Boy Scouts on the peninsula have risen to Eagle Scout. That's the highest achievement in scouting.
And each one of them has George Maher to thank for it, even in just a small way. But it's George's own Eagle Scout award that is at the heart of tonight's Bay Area Proud. NBC Bay Area's Garvin Thomas joins us now with his story.
Janelle, for those 20 years, George Maher has volunteered for the Scouts advancement team, double-checking applications, filing away awards. Now, because of that, perhaps no one better knows what it takes to be an Eagle Scout than George. Well, that and the fact he completed all the requirements himself more than 60 years ago, which is why what happened this weekend is so special, and tonight's Bay Area Proud.
Spend enough time around enough Boy Scouts, like they do at the Pacific Skyline Council headquarters in Foster City, and they say you can always spot the Eagles. It's not the pin on the chest or the patch on the sleeve, though. It's something special on the inside. It's something anyone who's ever known George Maher says is inside him. It's why when Mark Manchester started work here last year and met George, he didn't even ask George if he were an Eagle Scout.
I didn't ask if, I just said, George, what year did you get your Eagle Scout?
And I said, it should have been March 10th, 1944.
Should have, because George never officially was an Eagle Scout. He had all the merit badges, sure, but in the middle of his board of review hearing, the very last step needed before becoming an Eagle Scout, George's mother interrupted the meeting.
She told me my father was not doing well, and she was heading to the hospital. And I didn't say anything. I just grabbed my stuff, and I said, we're going.
George's father died later that day, and within a matter of weeks, George was in the South Pacific fighting the Japanese,
a violent typhoon
and the weather. It was during one typhoon in particular that George was tossed about the deck so violently he lost his wallet containing his life card, the only written proof of his Boy Scout accomplishments. George returned to the States, got married, raised a family, and did write one letter to the Boy Scouts asking about his award.
And the letter that I wrote was returned to me, addressee unknown. That's it. I'm out of luck.
And that was that. Until that day last year when George told Mark his story. This time, Mark sent some letters off himself. These were returned with a very different message.
It was the letter saying that I am an Eagle Scout, and they gave me the date of March 10th, 1944. And there wasn't a dry eye in the place.
George had always told himself the Eagle Scout thing didn't bother him too much, but perhaps down deep, it really did.
On my honor, I will do my best.
On my honor, I will do my best.
Which is why this past Sunday meant so much. 68 years, 9 months, and 7 days late, George Maher got his pin, his patch, got what he had earned. Ultimately, what's in your chest matters so much more than what's on it. In George Maher's case, though, those two finally match.
And thank you. And George.
Nothing could make that story better, right?
I want the story to keep going,
I know,
actually.
I love
I
that
can
story.
make it better. You see the young man who pinned the Eagle Scout medal on George? That's his grandson, who became an Eagle Scout last year.
That's such a great story, so touching. How did you find out about this story?
Some friends associated with the Boy Scouts let me know that this was coming up. They knew it was something special and deserved some coverage.
Yeah, really
and George
neat.
does.
Thanks for sharing it.
Excellent story. Thank you, Garvin.